Welcome everyone. I just wanted to kind of go over some points about the First Amendment and what it has to do with auditing. I've been getting a lot of crazy different comments on my videos. The big ones come in the auditors detained and or arrested compilations I made. Now, one of the biggest misconceptions is people think I made those compilations as entertainment videos as fodder towards attacking auditors. No. The reason I made those videos is to illustrate what happens to auditors that shouldn't happen, that were unconstitutional, and these are instances where the auditors did not get charged or they beat the charges. Some cases they even sued or sued and won. So, a big thing people think is that auditors sue just because they want to get rich. That's wrong. One of the biggest things that auditors sue for is to make a point, to show that people have their rights. And when those rights are violated, they deserve to have something in restitution for it. Now, in some cases, like First Amendment Strike Team, he insisted that they change the policy in the police handbook before they or before he would accept any type of plea deal or whatever, any type of arrangement. And you had Police State New Jersey. Yeah, they asked him to take some video down that he had, and he insisted that they change the policies to create better communication between police and citizens. Eric Brand, how many times has he gone to court over this and he's gotten things changed? You got Turner versus Driver. You got the almost park incident and the results from that. It's not about getting rich, people. It's not. It's just like our channels. We're not getting rich off our channels. We don't make boatloads of money from ad revenue. People don't understand that. They think we're making thousands of dollars a week off of our channels, and we're not. So that is not the focus of auditing. So what is? Well, auditing is the most legal way we can express and exercise our rights and see what happens. Whether we're left alone or we're accosted by cops or security guards or secretaries or whatever. You never know what's going to happen. And as long as we stay legal, what does anybody care? One of the big things I see all the time is people that served in the military, which I do appreciate their service. My father was a Marine, I know. You know, they say, oh, I fought for this country, why would you step on this, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you fought for our rights, but you have a problem with us expressing our rights? Where's the logic in it? How does that make sense? We have freedom of the press, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, the right to assemble, and the right to redress our government. Those are very important, everyday protected things under the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. People don't think about it. They're out on the street having their lunch break. They're standing at the hot dog cart talking to a fellow employee about the a-hole in the next computer whose keyboard clicking is too loud. Freedom of speech allows them to talk like that. That is just you expressing, we take advantage of that as if it's nothing. That's our everyday lives. We get to talk like that and not think twice about it. There's other countries where if you said that, you would go to jail. If you said anything against the leader of the country, you could be executed. That's why these are so important to us. Now, in the case of freedom of the press, I see it all the time. You guys aren't press, you don't work for a news station or a newspaper or a magazine or whatever. All American citizens are recognized independent journalists in the eyes of the law. That's it, period. Every American citizen. That is our right. And there has been cases through the Supreme Court where cameras and recording equipment have come into question because in the late 1700s they didn't have cameras like that. So why is that a big deal? Well, cameras and voice recorders and whatnot are legally recognized tools of the press trade. That means that when you are on a traditional public forum or public property that you have not been trespassed from, you may exercise your First Amendment rights and not have to worry about it. You're allowed to speak. Now, one of the other things that comes across all the time is the whole cursing in public thing. Now, one of the things that a lot of our auditors have come across is police that say you can't curse in front of women or children. That's disorderly conduct within city limits or whatever. Now, we all know that in the eyes of the Supreme Court, vulgar, obscene, or otherwise offensive language has been deemed protected speech. It falls under the First Amendment. That is very important. If you get arrested and even convicted of cursing in public, you may get convicted in a local court and you may have to pay a fine or whatever. But if you really want, you can take it to the Supreme Court level, and you should win. Honestly, you should win. Why? Because it's protected speech. How can you get convicted for your speech when it's protected? That is something that really needs to change. And another thing that came up was the incident in San Antonio. I talked about this in a post, but the police actually said that cursing at them should be treated as a threat, that it enables them to use force to arrest and ultimately convict a person. Since when are bad words a threat? I'm sorry, but I thought that was insanely childish. They may not like getting cursed out, and we don't all agree with auditors cursing out cops, but none of us has the right to tell any other auditor how to audit. There's no charter, there is no rules, there's no code of conduct. We are independent journalists for a reason. If we were a structured entity like so many people keep on suggesting, it completely changes how our rights are treated and what rights are protected. So no, there is no code of conduct. I cannot tell another auditor you shouldn't, don't curse, that's wrong. I'm allowed my own opinion, I can suggest it, but I cannot tell anybody how to audit. So if you don't like that somebody is cursing, that's fine. But the fact is, it's legal. You don't have to agree with it. I don't have to agree with it. I don't have to support them, but I also don't have no right to tell them no. So bear that in mind when you watch these videos, and mostly I'm talking to the viewers here. You can't expect us to all act the same, to all follow the same path, to do the same things. It won't happen. We are independent journalists in the eyes of the law, and so we are protected under that. Now, yeah, it doesn't really help the cause to have all these wannabe YouTubers out there that go out explicitly with the intentions of arguing with a cop for an entertaining video. We are not them. We do not support them. We do not condone what they do. Stop lumping us in the same category. I'm so tired of saying this. I've got one video alone where I've probably explained this at least 100 times in the comment section. We are not them. And we are not those sovereign citizen fools. We laugh at them. These sovereign citizen fools sit there and say they don't have to follow the law. They're not under that government rule. We're the opposite. We believe in the Constitution. We believe in the constitutional law. We believe in the Bill of Rights. We believe in staying legal. Now, I'm over the whole, oh, you guys are sovereign citizen fools, blah, blah, blah. We are not. Stop lumping us in that category. Now, to the viewers, you guys are the most important part of this. Without you guys, we wouldn't be encouraged to continue doing what we're doing. Yes, there are times where people ask for help, for bail money, for rent money, whatever. Nobody forces anyone to donate. Nobody forces anyone to super chat. It's up to the viewer. If they want to, they can. If they don't have to. If you don't like what we're doing, don't watch it. It really is that simple. The First Amendment exists for a reason. You have your right to redress your government. That's not just the president. That's not just senators. That's any and all government employees, including cops. They are tax-paid government employees. You want to redress your government to a government employee, you have that right. Now, you get to curse them out or whatever because it's protected free speech. Don't have to agree with it, but you can. So, stop thinking that just because somebody gets upset with a cop, that they're in the wrong automatically. There's other issues like the whole ID thing, where people think that just because a cop says, give me your ID, that you have to. No. In most states, even the stop and ID states, they have to have probable cause. Now, I don't know exact laws for all 50 states because that's a lot to learn. But, like New York State where I am, it's a stop and ID state, but they still have to have probable cause. So they can't just walk up to me on a sidewalk while I'm holding my camera and ask me for or demand an ID. They can ask all they want. I don't have to comply. I see it all the time. Why don't you idiots just give them their ID? It's a cop. Why don't you give it to them? Just because they have a badge doesn't mean they automatically command respect. In my eyes and in most people's eyes, you earn respect. You're respectful to me, I'm going to be respectful back to you. That's just the way I am. I'm not going to come out and curse a cop out and whatever just right off the bat. But I'm also not going to bow down to them and just do what they say without question. It doesn't work that way. Respectful until respected. Respectful until disrespected. My apologies. But that's how I operate. And, for all the new auditors out there that genuinely want to be part of this, do your research. Learn your local laws. Learn how all your laws affect your constitutional rights. Remember, the 10th Amendment dictates no law may exist at the local, state, or federal level that impedes your constitutional rights. That is extremely important. They cannot just make like the whole cursing in front of women thing. That's really not a constitutional thing. It's unconstitutional because it impedes your right to free speech. Which is why I say, if you want to take it to the Supreme Court level, you should win it. You really should. So, keep that in mind. A lot of new auditors go out there and they think they're going to mimic some of the long-time auditors that have been doing this for a long time, and they know what they're doing. They know what to expect. They know what to anticipate. Most of us have known that at some point you're going to get arrested, regardless of how legal or illegal you may think you are. Cops will find a reason. Most police handbooks, I learned this from a state trooper investigator, their handbook says arrest for all offenses. Beyond that, it becomes officer discretion. You got a little bag of weed, they may let you slide with a ticket, but their handbook says they can arrest you if they want. Why do they care? Well, they don't. The way they see it is no matter what, take it up in court. It's not up to them. That drives me nuts. I brought up the whole topic of sidewalk litigation as it pertains to First Amendment auditing and how many of us have studied our local laws, have studied how state laws impact constitutional law, and we may know a law that the cops don't. They're never open. I mean, I've yet to see one cop say, let me call my supervisor and verify whether or not that's a law. They always they say take it up in court. That is one of the reasons why we audit. You get pulled over and you get arrested for something. It could be minor or whatever, but you know you're right. The cop is wrong. You are legal. So why should you have to go to jail, pay a bondsman, all that stuff? Bondsman money you don't get back. So why should you have to do all that just to go to court and have the case dismissed? They need to be more open to the fact that we may actually be right. We may actually know something they don't. They need to be open to the concept of contacting their superiors, contacting the state attorney's office, contacting the city attorney, whatever. Find out if what we said is true or not. And if they're wrong, okay, I was wrong. Here you go. It's not that hard. But so many of them, their ego gets bruised and they take offense to the fact that they were wrong. So they don't want to let you go. They say, let the judge handle it. All I can say to that is, when in doubt, shut up. If you are out there as a new auditor or even an experienced auditor that has had minimal contact with the cops, if you're not sure whether or not what you're doing is legal or where you're standing is legal or whatever, just be quiet. If you have to, walk away. Don't engage. So I just realized I got a lovely light shining right in my face, so that should make for a wonderful video. But I'm not going to re-record this again. But the bottom line, guys, is the First Amendment exists for a reason. The 5 points of the First Amendment exist for a reason. Now, those of you that see the whole right to assemble, yeah, you have the right to assemble. But the whole loophole of it is cities, towns, villages, whatever, more often than not, if you want to protest, you have to get a permit. Why? Because you may be blocking a sidewalk or taking up a section of grass in a park or whatever. Make sure you understand that. Make sure you check with your local law to find out whether or not you have to have a permit if you intend on standing on a street corner with a sign protesting something, whether it's protesting corruption or protesting the hot dog cart. Make sure you understand, just because the First Amendment says right to assemble does not guarantee that you don't need a permit. So, these are the things that most people don't even think about. They take for granted. Like, my whole hot dog cart, guy in the cube scenario. That's an everyday thing. People don't think about that the First Amendment allows them to do that. They don't understand just how important that is. So, bear that in mind every time you go out. Even if you're not going out auditing, you're going to the grocery store. Think about how many cameras you drive by between your home and the grocery store. How many times did you just end up on camera? Why is it people are so concerned with a person standing on the sidewalk holding a camera on a traditional public forum where they are allowed to? Why is that such a big deal? I don't understand that. Police wear body cameras, they have dash cameras, there are security cameras all around buildings, security cameras in the ATMs, dash cams in private citizen vehicles that you drive by. I mean, you could take a 5-minute drive and end up on 50 cameras. Think about that. The guy on the corner in plain sight filming a military base entrance or whatever, all he's doing is filming. He's not causing any problems. He's not breaking any laws. This is why we audit. For all the people that think that we are wrong for standing there with the camera, you are wrong. We can and will do it because it's legal. So stop leaving all these comments on my videos saying that, what we do is wrong, we're illegal, we don't know what we're talking about, the cops are always right. Every single solitary time I've seen that comment, I've proven the person wrong. And most of the time, they won't admit that I proved them wrong. So, whatever. If you don't like what I'm doing, don't watch my videos. It's really that simple, guys. Viewers, I humbly thank you for viewing my content, supporting my channel, and supporting all the auditors out there that are in the field doing what they do. I've only done it a few times, but I'm going to get back out there just as soon as I can. And I'm going to keep contributing any way I can. So I really appreciate all the viewers out there, and especially all the other auditors out there doing what they do. Thank you for your time, and I hope I've been somewhat helpful in understanding why we do what we do and how the First Amendment impacts your life. Thank you.